What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Doc's Daily. Today is Friday, November 14th. I am Detroit Lenny. This is Robert Ferringo. I know yesterday I told you I wouldn't be here today, but here I am. Ha, gotcha. Just kidding. Don't forget, guys, a little housekeeping stuff. Let's go over free $60 account. Link is in the description of the video. If you're brand new to Docs, head over to the website. Like I said, link in the description of the video. You can click the link, or you can go to docsports.com/free60. Use that $60 on any one of our handicappers, premium plays, week pass, day pass, props for the day, or season pass. You can use that $60 on whatever you do, whatever you want. You do you, Pikachu, is what I'm trying to say. And don't forget, become a member. YouTube members start at $4.99. The memberships go $4.99, $19.99, $49.99. There's a link in the description. You got to provide your own members only jacket, but we do provide winners, so there's that. And Friday, F around and Friday. I don't know if I'm excited about San Jose State cashing my plus 24.5 points. Rooting. It was hard to watch that game against Michigan State. We have a Thursday night football game too. I don't know if there's really anything to talk about in that game. I feel like it ended up exactly like I thought it would. Blah. I thought the number was on there, you know.
Gave out an easy winner on the under for Justin Fields passing yards. Never really threatened.
I know. See, I remember I told you the flip side of that was Raphael's free pick was.
Don't listen to Raphael. That's your mistake. Don't listen to Raphael.
See, the shirt says it all. I just realized.
Interesting thing. There were a couple takeaways from that game for me. Okay. First of all, like that number value, the value of your spread mattered in that game, right? A lot of people pushed on 13. I won on 12.5 because I bet it late. That number came down, but all day, or the people who bet it earlier in the week versus like Wednesday night, Thursday morning, that number got up to like 13.5. So if you bet into the steam, then you lost or pushed on that. But again, like New England is at the top of their market right now. Okay. Like they did not put that team away. That is a bad Jets team. Okay, they did not put them away. They were down early. They barely covered that 12.5. I'm telling you right now, Drake May played well. He played better than I thought, but all those throws were routine. He was throwing to wide open guys all night. Like, how many throws did he make? I'll give him credit. The one that Mac Hollis dropped on the deep pass, that was a nice throw. That was a really nice ball. But other than that, it's not like he was throwing dimes into coverage and tight windows all night. On the other side, the Jets aren't a very good team. I give them credit. They play hard. You know what they remind me of right now? They remind me of like an option team in college football. Like if you go, they have not lost by more than 17 points yet this year. They've only had 3 games that they've lost now by like 13 or more. Like they fight. They are fighting. So if
you're not going to just kick the shit out of them and walk away. I mean, they're a dog. Yeah.
Right. And like if they're going to be catching double digits here down the stretch, again, I think Aaron Glenn, rah guy, he's going to keep his guys engaged a little bit. And because they just know who they are, they just run the ball. They don't throw the ball. They can't throw the ball. They just run the ball, grind games down. I think we're going to find some value on the Jets and find some value betting against the Patriots moving forward.
I feel like I agree with you on the Patriots. Like their stock is as high as I think it's going to get. I think they kind of peaked. I mean, I watched that game and I thought Drake May, if the Jets defense is
bad,
good-ish. They're good-ish.
Awesome. They're like 27th in total defense or something like that. They're not.
They have moments that I think like I feel like they could have had 2 interceptions off Drake May.
Yes.
And they drop the defense, like the joke is that's why you play defense, right?
Right.
Right. That's always the joke. And to be honest with you, I give you one of those. One of them, it was like the guy. I just still feel like he knew what to do with the ball.
Yep.
And
again, it was the same thing the week before. I told you in that Tampa Bay game, he should have had 2 interceptions in that game too. So like at a certain point, defenders are going to stop dropping those passes that Drake May is missing, and it's going to cost them.
At a certain point, you're going to play a good defense that is prone to catching those passes and those interceptions, and it's going to look real bad for him. I think, in the playoffs, but it'll be down the road. Robert with 4-0, Joe 4-0 day yesterday. Joe P.
I did good stuff. We did. We gave out a lot of winners yesterday. And again, anyone that's been listening on here, like I've been right about a lot of stuff. Like again, I was thinking about it Sunday. Like Caleb Williams, I said earlier this year, I was like, that guy is awesome. Like anybody ragging on him after 2 weeks is nuts. I was like, Jackson Dart should not be starting. Like, him and Brian Dable are at completely different ends of the spectrum in terms of like where their careers are headed. Dable got fired. Jackson Dart's hurt. I said that Travis Hunter is going to be a bust, was going to be overrated. Don't buy in the hype. He's hurt and out for the year. Like just a lot of things that I've been talking about here for months are good. And Real Joe Beef, I want you to understand what we're talking about here. I'm not ragging on the Patriots. What I'm saying is the Patriots are not as good as people are saying that they are right now. This is not a legitimate Super Bowl contender. I'm sorry, but they're not. And Drake May is not an MVP candidate. Okay. They have beaten a lot of bad teams. I like the direction they're headed. They are a good football team. I'm not saying that they're not, but they might end up like 12-5. They're not a 12-5 team. Like they're not that good. They're not like in the top tier. I'm saying the same thing about Denver. And Denver and New England kind of mirror each other a little bit. Like they both have excellent defenses. They're both very good in the trenches. New England's great at stopping the run. Denver's great at getting after the quarterback. But like weapons-wise on offense, not so much. Stephon Diggs does not look like they got to keep him healthy because he's the only real weapon they have on offense.
I was just going to say, and he goes down and that offense is screwed.
Falls apart.
That's
Bo
bad.
Nix and Drake May just aren't like they aren't as good as everyone is talking about them right now. Like that's what I'm saying.
The advantage Denver over Patriots would be the defense. I think Denver's defense is freaking legit. I do. I think they can take them. I think they can take them further than the Patriots defense can take the Patriots.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Agreed. And Denver's playing real competition like that division. I keep going back and forth between who the best division in football is. Is it the NFC West or the AFC West? And this week I kind of gave the NFC West the nod because the Raiders just drag everything down. Where the worst team in the NFC West is Arizona, who I still think is pretty good. But yeah, Denver, like they're playing real competition. New England kind of isn't.
Yeah, I'll say this. The NFC West is legit. I mean, Arizona's the team that drags them down if you're going to say anybody, but I'm so looking forward to Seattle and the Rams this weekend, but at the same sense, I think everybody's building that game up and it's kind of going to suck. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored in that game. I saw last night them talking about, Seattle court, Sam Darnold and comparing Matt Stafford. And I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? One has won a Super Bowl. One is a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. I'm still a Matt Stafford fan. When they traded him to the Rams, it was like, for those of you that have kids and watch them go to school on their first day without you, it was that. It was like, God bless. Godspeed, man. I hope you win a Super Bowl. But we needed this just as much as you needed this. And it was great to see him. I rooted for him, whatever, this and that. But stop it. Matt Stafford is not in the same comparison as him. Now, the Seattle defense and the Rams defense, I think, is
they've both been playing exceptionally well. And again, with Seattle, let's not get it twisted. Sam Darnold is throwing good balls. He's playing well, whatever. It's all about Clint Kubiak. Just like last year when he was with Minnesota, it's all about Kevin O'Connell. Like Minnesota, you just plug guys in, no matter who the quarterback is, and they perform. Like we've seen that happen. We're starting to see that with Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator in Seattle. I talked about it over the summer. I was like, this guy, people don't know. Yeah. Like this guy is a genius. Like he was the guy I wanted the Bears to grab. Like
I remember this conversation. Yes.
I think they have like an 11.6 offensive yards per point this year, Seattle, which is way beyond statistical norms. Okay. And it's just like, it's unbelievable, really. And what we're seeing out of them offensively is, again, it's all Kubiak. I agree with you on like the scoring. I've kind of gone back and forth on this one. I was surprised that the total in that game was only 48.5. That seemed low to me, given both teams scored over 40 points last week. Both teams are averaging over 35 points in their last 3 games. I mean, I thought that number would be 51 and a half, maybe trap the public because, hey, we just saw these teams both score 40 points. Are they going to have another shootout? So I'm, that total
Fair.
not being over 50 was a little bit of a red flag to me and made me back off. I don't know. What I do know about the Rams, though, is that they're only allowing like 17 points per game, 16 points per game, something like that over their last 4. They've won 4 straight by 20 or more. Is that right? Like the Rams are killing people.
They're rolling.
They are just
rolling.
winning games. They are killing people right now.
But they are one injury away from falling apart as well. In my opinion, the Rams offensively, they have weapons, but if they have to get one-dimensional, it's bad. I don't think. Listen, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole with the Seattle and Rams game, but
it's the best game of the weekend.
First one to score 20 wins. Wow. I really think it's going to be that low of a game.
Wow.
I don't know why I'm freezing, if it's me or what.
Bold moves by Lenny.
Bold moves.
You stunned the internet. You stunned your connection with that prediction about that. I was like, whoa, we got to stop.
I really, loser has teens. The loser of this game is still in the teens. Let's just say that's how I feel. I think both teams' defense is legit. Sam Darnold reminds me of Trent Dilfer. I think that Seattle defense is freaking. I think they're arguably top 3 defense in the league.
Wow.
I think Seattle's defense is gonna win games. I worry more from a Lions. Okay, so everybody knows the Lions. I'm just the Lions homer. I think we're gonna find out who the hell the Lions are. But the Lions and Philly are playing for second place in the NFC because Seattle's the best team in the NFC. And Trent Dilfer, aka Sam Darnold, is that quarterback. That's really how I feel the NFC shapes out.
Lenny with a lot of bold statements here. He is he's not on the Seattle bandwagon. He's driving it. He's a bus driver. I don't know. I know that there are several guys on our site that have big plays in that game, and that's all I'm going to say about that. That is going to be the best game of the weekend. Oh, and I was wrong about the Rams defense. They're allowing 12 points per game over their last 4. I was kind of selling them a little bit short there. So you might be onto something. For me, that's very much a watch, wait, and see with the total in that game. I have a side that I like in that game, but I'm not gonna play that total. And you mentioned that Detroit-Philadelphia game. For me, that was an easy one to throw away. Threw it right off the cuff because all Detroit has done over the last 3 years is cover the spread. I'm not betting against Detroit. All Philadelphia has done over the last 3-4 years is win games. I'm not betting against them. So it's just like, I'm not betting against either one of these teams. I don't care. Like Detroit could win by 20, Philly could win by 20. Like I'm going to watch the game and I'm going to enjoy it because it should be really good football, but that is not a game to bet at all. Like, why would you want to bet against either one of those?
I'll be honest with you. I'm going to live bet the hell out of it, obviously, for numerous reasons. But besides being a homer, I really think the Lions-Philly game has a lot of potential for runs. And when you get runs in NFL, you're a little bit of momentum. I feel like I can get on both sides and maybe possibly middle that. And that's an in-play bettor's heaven right there.
I was hoping Detroit's offensive eruption last week would have kind of pushed that total up around 48 because I would have liked the under. I think that's going to be a little bit more of a smash mouth game. But again, you got a lot of offensive talent on there. So even betting an under in that game, you're betting against a lot of really talented offensive pieces. So
that's hard to swallow. But
like I said, that was an easy one for me to throw away.
I lean under 2 as well.
Real Joe Beef, we talked about this game a bit yesterday in yesterday's video. I think we're both in agreement that lean Minnesota, but not enough to put money on it. They have gotten wrecked on the road. Like their 3 road games, they've gotten humiliated. We do think that Oregon is this teeny bit overvalued right now, a little bit overrated. Not that they're not a great team, but just a little bit, just a shade overvalued. But we don't know if Minnesota is necessarily the team to cash in on that overvaluedness.
I mean, I worry Oregon's going to come out and like try and go for style points, and just put it on them. But then again, maybe they won't. I don't. Again, I want to see what Minnesota. I might look at a first quarter bet with that game.
Okay.
Which
side you leaning?
Minnesota.
Okay.
They got a fight in them in the first quarter, might make it a fight. And then after that, just continuously. Oregon doesn't stop, where Minnesota's going to have to play perfect.
See, I don't want to say I feel the opposite, but I almost feel like we're going to know exactly who's going to cover this game after one quarter. I think with Oregon, it's either going to be a first round TKO where they come out and just run roughshod, and then that game gets away from them. Or if Minnesota hangs around in the first quarter, I feel like they're going to hang around in the game. They're just kind of that grubby type of team. And looking back at it, Oregon's schedule is not dotted with a lot of blowouts. They only beat Northwestern by 20. They lost to Indiana, only beat Wisconsin by 14, only beat Iowa by 2. Yes, they blew out Rutgers 56-10. That game was an embarrassment, and they beat Oregon State, who was just pathetic this year, 41-7. I think Minnesota is better than Rutgers. I don't think they're as good as Iowa. We'll see. We'll see where Oregon's motivation level is at. Also, something to consider. After this week, Oregon has USC in Washington. Okay. They host USC next week. That is a much bigger game than this Minnesota game. Agreed. And then Washington is obviously their rivalry game. So, are they going to call off the dogs? Are they going to pull guys back? Are they going to get a little deeper into their bench tonight in a game that they really should control from start to finish? Probably. Again, that makes me lean Minnesota. But they, like I said, they haven't been bad on the road. They've been embarrassing on the road. They lost 41-3 at Iowa. They lost 42-3 at Ohio State. Not fair. That's not even competitive. And that right
Minnesota's one of those teams I like to call them a 45-minute team. They're going to give you 45 minutes of solid football. Problem is the game is 60.
Right.
And I'm not saying they stop playing like in the fourth quarter. You might have to chop that 15 minutes up, but there's going to be chunk times when Minnesota doesn't show up. I don't know. That's still a big ass number. I mean, in a teaser, that's 4 touchdowns and then some. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if, I'm not running to the window to say Minnesota in a teaser.
Situationally, everything points against Oregon here. Okay. But like I said, I just don't know if Minnesota is the team to take advantage. All right. You want to talk some college hoops? We can talk some college hoops.
Let's talk some college hoops. High Point -2.
I'm repping Strike Point Sports tonight. They got a 7-unit play going on tonight. I will also say, High Point -2 over UAB. I'm actually in disagreement here. I wrote down UAB. I do not think that High Point should be favored over pretty much like anyone at this level on the road. Andy Kennedy, he lost a ton of talent from that UAB team. Like Yaxel Landemore going to Michigan, we know all about him, but a lot of other guys. But Andy Kennedy has been doing this. He's been a transfer portal guy before it was cool to be in the transfer portal, right? Like Andy Kennedy is used to rebuilding teams. He brought in a bunch of junior college kids that can score, that can play, that can do some things. Now with High Point, it's all about Cameron Fletcher, a guy who used to be at Florida State. He looks like he might finally be healthy, so he gives them like a top end player that he'll be the best player on the floor. So that's an advantage for High Point. But again, I just don't know that they should be favored on the road right here. Like they blew out Furman, they blew out Jacksonville. UAB has lost 2 straight. They lost to NC State on the road, and then they got upset by Alabama State, that's a really bad loss. I think they were a double-digit home favorite in that game, and they lost outright. But we see this all the time in these early season college basketball things where, wild swings. Like, you lose as a double-digit favorite, and then you come back and win by 25. So, I'm not as high on High Point as some people are. Let's just put it that way.
Listen, I bet based off of what I learned yesterday, Indiana State Sycamores plus 39.5 over Duke, who's playing Michigan State next.
Kansas. Yes.
Oh, yeah. What did I say? I said Duke.
That's the one that I was lamenting that kind of slid under my radar before this game.
My bad. I'm Eastern Illinois playing Kentucky because Kentucky's playing Michigan State.
Okay.
Illinois and Indiana State, I got mixed up. I threw.
No. I got you, but But your mistake is actually that was your Freudian slip. That was your brain giving you the right answer. I don't know that I'm jumping on Eastern Illinois. Like I like where it head's at. Kentucky is definitely looking ahead to that game with Michigan State, but Eastern Illinois, I just don't know if they're like physically strong enough to beat this Kentucky team. And this Kentucky team like will hit the Jets. They have a lot of talent. They got no problem wiping out somebody by 40. Now I do think Eastern Illinois is a side. I do. I agree with you. I just like Indiana State a little bit better because Indiana State coming from a little better conference, much better conference, frankly, than Eastern Illinois. Okay, they're going to Duke, pretty much the same spread, pretty much the same situation. Duke is playing in Madison Square Garden against Kansas on Tuesday. They absolutely 100% are looking past Indiana State and looking ahead to this game. Indiana State has some guys that can play. They have some guys that can do some things. Hold on one second. They, they're going to slow this game down. I know they lost by 16 points to Charlotte. Okay. But again, weird first opening game type of thing. This one's all about Duke and their motivation level. I don't think they're motivated to go out and win this game by 50 points. I don't. I think they can win by 31. Duke can go out and win 96-65. That is a 31-point win, man. That is something to be proud of. And they still would have come 8 points short of the number in that game. So, yeah.
I love that. Hey, I actually had on the TV, one TV had Purdue and Alabama and yesterday, and that was a pretty decent game. 87. Purdue walks away with it. In Alabama, this little kid for Purdue, I don't know his name.
Braden Smith?
I don't know. This little white kid running around out there popping threes left and right. And he had on this black sleeve, black leg thing. And I was like,
that's Braden Smith. That's the best point guard in the country.
That kid's running around like he looked like, and I had just watched last week this Allen Iverson thing on like Amazon Prime or something. It was a pretty good documentary, whatever thing. And I was like, who does this kid think he's AI or something? And then it made me watch the last, like, say, 5-6 minutes of that game. And that kid was a buyer, though, from Purdue. Is Purdue actually good in college basketball as opposed to college football?
They're the best team in the country. They dropped because they didn't play well early, and Houston is just doing what Houston does and killing people. So Houston jumped back up to that number one spot, but Purdue is a preseason number one. I released a big futures bet on them and Michigan to win the Big Ten. Yeah, Purdue is awesome. Braden Smith, that kid, he's the best point guard in the country. He's a first-team All-American. Their forward, Trey Kaufman-Renn, he didn't play in their first few games. That's why they weren't as, like, dominant. Braden Smith and Trey Kaufman-Renn, when they get it going, they got like a Stockton and Malone pick and roll thing going on. It's just like impossible to stop. The guy who paid dividends for them early in that game was the big guy, Oscar Clough, big white guy. Came from North Dakota State. That is what they were missing last year. So 2 years ago, they had Zach Edey, the 7'4" giant, lose him, and they just lost that presence on the inside. So this guy, Clough, he averaged a double-double last year, like 18 points, 12 rebounds, something like that for North Dakota State. And that's what he's in there to do. Just be a big guy, defend the rim, rebounds. You know, he's got some nice moves around the basket, complement Kaufman-Renn if teams like shift towards that pick and roll game. And then Fletcher Lawyer, one of the best shooters in the country, that other white kid out there for Purdue. These guys were in the Final Four 3 years ago with Edey. Like, these guys are awesome. They're veterans. They're all experienced. They're like 23 years old.
Coached very well.
I'm freaking kicking myself because I told myself to just stay away from that game, man. Stay away from that game. And then I kind of let somebody talk me into Alabama. I knew I should have just passed yesterday. I knew it. I didn't, and I lost.
First time he ever bet last night, Purdue under 87.5. Caught that by the hook. Alabama under 90. Well played. St. Mary's over 120. 129, Zags over 160, and Arizona State plus 13.5. That's what Scott B's rolling with today.
Okay. I'm just going to stay away from that Gonzaga game because I know they blew out Oklahoma and Creighton, but both of those games were at home. My problem is I don't know how bad this Arizona State team is. I don't think they're very good. They've had some injury issues that they had to deal with in the preseason. So that is a big number for a true road game. Like this game is being played in Tempe in Arizona State's home gym. So laying 13.5 points, that's a really big number. But I just think Arizona State could still be really bad. And Gonzaga, Mark Few is a guy who runs it up. He's not going to take his starters out. He's not going to pull back. That over 160, that's predicated on you thinking that Arizona State is going to score 75, 80 points. I just don't know if they have that type of firepower. So it's a real easy stay away from me. St. Mary's, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I don't ever bet college basketball totals. I don't. I'm not good at it. Okay. Rafael Esparza is good at it. He plays a lot of college totals. I've never had a good feel for college totals. I don't even look at those numbers. The one thing that I will say about St. Mary's, though, is that they always played a really slow pace. So that's kind of what you're fighting against. And I forget who it was that they played in their last game, but they shot out of their friggin' minds in their last game. And I just don't know that they hung 90 on Ohio. They shot 11 for 22 from 3-point land, 20 for 44. So they shot 50% from the field, 2-point and 3-point combined. I don't know if they're going to do that again. But look, they scored 90 points. They put up 150 in their last game. You're talking about a total in the 120s. Sure, maybe that makes sense. Maybe the market hasn't corrected to how good and efficient this St. Mary's offense is.
This Hall of Fame series game, Arizona UCLA, is this like the Alabama Purdue of last night?
It is, and that's why I didn't play it. A little too much uncertainty. Like Donovan Dent was point guard at New Mexico. Okay, kind of do it all guy. Like they just put the ball in his hands, and he just does his thing. Right. He was injured in his last game. I think they held him out just as like a precautionary thing. He's also still just getting used to his teammates with UCLA. So like not knowing if he's going to play, that's a big one for me. Now, Arizona, I think they're rightfully favored. And I do think that they're a little bit the better team. However, I also think they're dining out on that big win that they had. Who was it that they Florida, the Florida win that they got on the neutral site in week 1. That's why they're favored here on the road. People are remembering that. And I don't know, UCLA is pretty good. Like UCLA has the same amount of talent that Florida has, that Alabama has, that Purdue has, that Arizona has. So if gun to head, I think I'd go with Arizona. I do. Because even if Dent plays, is he 100%? But no, I just tossed it out. It's going to be a good game, though. It's going to be a great game.
I hope it's good like Purdue, Alabama was last night. This is when I like college basketball, stuff like this. You know what I mean? I don't want to watch, this is good stuff. Moving on to the NBA, though, real quick before we leave out of here. NBA Cup play, group play, whatever it's called, or that I still don't understand it. But I don't care to understand it also. So that's probably a thing. Twofold question. Are you surprised by any team in the NBA thus far? Or are you because I'm shocked that the Pistons are good, right? I mean, I knew they were going to be good. I thought they were going to make the playoffs, be kind of like a bubble team, very similar to what I thought about the Red Wings. Bubble playoff team. They'll be, maybe a 4 seed at the best case scenario. Now they're out here with the best record in the league. No Cade Cunningham against the Bulls, no problem. Mm-hmm. I was shocked by that. Get out of my seat and watch.
The East is a little dodgy right now. Yeah, I don't. How do I say this? It isn't until January when I feel like we really start to see who everybody is. Early teams come out fast.
After Christmas play.
And that, and then fade a little bit. I'm not surprised that Detroit is a good team. Again, they played well at the end of last year. And Cade Cunningham looked like a stud in the playoffs last year. Sure. He's going to keep getting better, and they're going to keep getting better with him. Do I think Detroit's going to have the best record in the East when all is said and done? Probably, probably not there.
No.
So, no, the NBA Cup stuff that I'm looking at tonight, and again, kind of kicking myself. Here's another free play for you that, I'm going to win on my free play that I wish I'd put in my rated stuff. I like the Knicks tonight. They burned me earlier this week, but no Jalen Brunson. And just like you pointed out, hey, no Cade Cunningham. Well, what's the rule here, Lenny? Like,
fade the injury report.
If a star player is out, you bet on the team that just lost its star player, because everybody else rallies around, raise their level of play. Over a long-term period, losing a star player will hurt a team, but in the short term, you always see them rally. The Knicks, couple guys got benched in the fourth quarter because they were playing so well. They got really embarrassed by Orlando, and now Brunson's out. Miami is just so streaky, man. I feel like you got to take the Knicks tonight, because they're either going to win by 10 or lose by 10. That's kind of how Miami rolls, right? They have surprising blowouts, or they get run out of the gym. I feel like they're catching the Knicks at a bad time. So that would be my free play for tonight in the NBA.
I don't hate that. I mean, I kind of like my Pistons a little bit, but I'm scared of the Pistons. I'm not even going to lie. I have PTSD from the Tigers. So, this is exactly how the Tigers season started out. Ooh, real on top, carrying the momentum from last year into this year. And do you see what happened for the Tigers? I know that one has nothing to do with the other, and I'm superstitious as hell, and that's the only problem. But it makes sense.
The Pistons are a good team that have been beating up on a lot of bad teams. Chicago,
and that's okay.
Washington, Brooklyn, Utah, Memphis. No, that is okay. You can only play who's in front of you, right?
Right.
But look, they're a good team, and right now they're taking care of business. Now, this game tonight, you should be a little nervous about. Philadelphia they were a team that I was a lot higher on than people coming in. My first 7-unit play of the season was on Philadelphia against Boston. That cash, they're 10-1 against the spread to start the season. People have not adjusted to the fact that this team is better off not being Joel Embiid dependent. Okay, Tyrone Maxey's awesome. Okay. They're getting good guard play. And now if you have a guy like Joel Embiid, who you're relying on for 25, 28 minutes a game, not to carry your team, they're just better off. They're better off without Embiid being the focus, and that's why they've been so good. This is a little revenge spot for Philadelphia. They lost by 3 at home last week. It was. So these two teams just played, and it was a 3-point game. Wouldn't be surprised to see another very close game. Wouldn't be surprised to see that number come down. So, but no, these are two good, young, up-and-coming teams. I like the direction in the Eastern Conference that they're pointed more than teams like Boston and Milwaukee and some of the other teams that are older and that have dominated the East for the last few years that are on their way down.
That's fair. All right, we're going to bounce out of here. We got 4 NHL games, though. I can tell you right now, and you guys should be watching this game that's about to start in 26 minutes.
Sweden, right? They're in Sweden?
It's Sweden. They're in Stockholm. Pittsburgh Penguins, Nashville Predators. The Predators suck. The Penguins are mediocre, but the total's high for a reason. Okay? We're going to show out in front of our family and friends. And if you don't think that half of the players on both teams are from, I should say half. A lot of Swedish-born players, though. A lot of Swedish-born players. I tip the over. You can get plus money at 6.5. If you can find 6, I mean, I'm not opposed to taking the 6. Put the push in your back pocket, but maybe sprinkle the draw. But I'm not a lot.
I was wondering if he was going to draw.
Hey, listen, just a little.
I like Pittsburgh. I think this is a manageable number. I like how Pittsburgh has been playing.
I agree. I think it was very similar to Washington, Florida yesterday. Mm-hmm. It was like minus 120 for Florida, 125. And I took Florida, and I told everybody in the video, I said, listen, if you want to sprinkle in regulation, go ahead. I'm not going to be mad because I like in this, I like Pittsburgh. I'm not going to be mad if you want to sprinkle for plus money tag, but minus 130 is very doable for me.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm okay with that. So I just took Florida yesterday. Pittsburgh,
yeah, I thought they would price this at like 145, 150, 155, kind of in that range, like kind of force some Nashville action.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't. They left it low for Pittsburgh. And, we'll see
the other games on tonight are not very I'm not really into. I'm not. Flyers and the Blues, maybe I might get into some action on that, but the Mammoths are a good team. Let me just tell you right now.
Just keep waiting for St. Louis to kind of get his head on straight. But
they're a good team, but they just
apparently not.
That's a team. If we talked about the NHL, that's one of the teams I would say I was a little surprised at how slow they started. Yeah. Not surprised that you can make money on the San Jose Sharks or the Anaheim Ducks. And the Anaheim Ducks, I've been saying this all year. These Ducks,
shit, man,
the mighty Ducks. I'm telling you right now, they're going to be undervalued for a price tag. And
I had a great hockey season last year, another winning hockey season, and I'm not gonna lie, like the majority of it was on the backs of Anaheim and San Jose, especially late in that season. I was taking them +1.5 and getting plus money on that, like all day, every day. So yeah, man.
Fair enough. All right, what do you got going on this weekend? Plug your stuff.
7-unit and 5-unit college football play tomorrow. I got a 4-unit play on the card as well. You know I have larger cards.
Yeah.
The 7-unit is the only one that you can purchase. Very wide NFL card. A lot of, I think I have like 10 or 11 plays, but I think my highest play is 2 units, maybe 3 units. So, you know, I'm kind of playing it that way. So the 7-unit is the only big football play. I'm looking at a 7-unit college basketball play tomorrow. And then maybe a 7-unit. I have not looked at the daily prop numbers yet for the NFL. I will dig into that in about 2 hours here. So maybe a 7-unit prop in the NFL as well.
All right, there you have it. Check out Robert Ferringo's plays over at DocSports.com/free60. And as soon as I find the graphic, there it is. You can use that free 60 to get Robert's free or premium plays, I should say, at the website for free when you use the 60. Links in the description of the video. Click on it, take it right over there. You fill it out, boom, bang, pow, you're in. YouTube members, there's also a link in the video here. You can become a member for as little as $4.99 a month. Got to provide your own jacket. I just provide winners. That's my new line. I just made it up. And I'm freezing, so we're going to leave out of here. Good luck unless you're against us. Tomorrow morning, Griffin Murphy and I, college football, we're going to run it. We're live at 11 a.m. Eastern. Good luck unless you're against us. Take care, folks.